So imagine this, you're a lawful permanent resident who went overseas to visit your family, maybe for the holidays, summer, whatever it might be, and upon your return to the United States, while speaking to the immigration officer, you are questioned, a red light goes up over your head, you are brought to secondary inspection. You are then given a form to sign to revoke your green card. You start to panic, not knowing what to do. Can this really be happening to you? And unfortunately, yes, it can. Today in this video, we're going to break down the 3 key ways that green card holders can be targeted for deportation proceedings and your green card revoked. Especially stay tuned for the 3rd way that many persons fall victim to because you just did not know and your green card gets terminated. So stay tuned so that I will go over with you what to avoid, what to look out for, and how to ultimately protect your green card. Stay tuned. Back to the next level life hacks, where we take the next steps needed to go towards our financial freedom and our success. Now, a US green card or permanent resident, as it might be called, or vice versa, grants you 3 things. 1, it allows you to live permanently within the United States. 2, it allows you to travel frequently in and out of the United States. And it also allows you to work legally within the United States. However, permanent does not mean forever, as you'll find out as we go through, and I'm also going to be giving you some real life stories of what happened to individuals so that you can also avoid it. Because all in all, the United States government can revoke your green card if you do not abide by the rules and requirements of keeping your green card. Now, the first way that you can be targeted for losing your green card is abandoning your residency, even sometimes without realizing it. Now, many green card holders assume that they can spend as long as they want outside of the United States, or they can travel frequently, spending extended time outside of the United States. That comes in contradiction to your United States green card because, as I mentioned, the official term for it is that you are a lawful permanent resident. What does resident mean? And what does permanent mean? Permanent resident means that you are residing permanently within the United States. If it is that it can be proven that you are staying extended periods outside of the United States, maybe in your home country or traveling the world, then it is going to be seen by Customs and Border Patrol or ICE in general that you do not need the US residency card, and therefore it can be taken from you. Now, there is the 1-year rule that states that if you stay for more than 1 continuous year outside of the United States, then ICE can deem it that you are not in need of your green card and they can have it revoked, or you can be put in deportation proceedings. Additionally, if it is viewed that you are spending extended periods frequently outside of the United States, even if it is not more than a year, but say for example 3 times a year you spend 4 or 5 months outside of the United States, then it can be deemed that in totality you are spending too long outside of the United States, so you are not really a permanent resident. Now, what I find frequently is that especially those parents of United States citizens who are of a certain age and they have established their life and their livelihood and social life outside of the United States in their home country, when their US citizen child files for them, they find it difficult to spend extended periods within the United States, so they tend to spend extended periods outside of the United States because, as I said before, they have settled into a routine and they are so much more accustomed to being home than having to adjust in the United States. And one such example is Anna. She is 65 years old. She recently got her green card through her United States citizen child. But what she has done is that she spent 6 months in her home country and 6 months within the United States. Now, one of the periods that she was re-entering the United States, she was flagged by the Customs and Border Patrol that she is spending too much time outside of the country, and she was demanded to appear in immigration court to face deportation proceedings. Sad. Now, how do I recommend that in this case that you protect yourself? Spend less than 6 months outside of the United States and do not make those trips too frequent. Spend more time inside of the country. Also, if it is because things happen and you realize that you have to spend extended periods outside of the United States, then then apply for what is known as a re-entry permit. That is a re-entry permit that allows you to spend up to 2 years outside of the United States without being penalized. However, bear in mind though that you still do this at your own risk, because it only takes the signing of one executive order for things to be changed immediately while you are outside of the United States. Then you will have great difficulty, maybe impossibility, in returning to the United States. The second way that green card holders can be targeted is through criminal activities or convictions, even very minor ones. Now, many permanent residents do not realize that certain criminal activities or offenses, even as minor as a DUI in some cases, can lead to your green card being revoked and you being deported. Remember, you do not have the security of being a United States citizen, so you are at jeopardy of being deported. So you have to be careful. Now, the deportable crimes include one, as I mentioned, DUIs in some cases, fraud or theft, domestic violence, and drug-related crime. Now, let's look at David. David is from Jamaica, and he was charged with shoplifting. His attorney assured him that it's a minor offense, so he went ahead and he pled guilty, paid the fines. However, months after, he was approached by ICE, scooped up, detained, put in deportation proceedings, and sent back to Jamaica. He could never have imagined that a minor offense as shoplifting would have led to his green card being revoked and him being deported. But bear in mind, my viewers, that the matter of becoming a citizen rests on you having moral turpitude, which means that you must be of a good moral character, so there are no blemishes against your character or against your criminal record. Now, how do you protect yourself? If it is that you run into problems with the law, as minor as you might think it is, do not only seek the services of a criminal attorney, but also seek the services of an immigration attorney. Even if your record is going to be expunged, yes, expunged meaning wiped clean, it does not matter. It can still work out against you, because it might be expunged on one end, but it is still going to be looked at that you did in fact commit an offense. So get a criminal attorney as well as an immigration attorney to defend your case. Now, the third way, which I mentioned to you, is the one that is most overlooked and most critical, is that you might be missing immigration deadlines as a green card holder, especially if you have a conditional residency. Now, how does this happen? It is mainly in the case of when you marry a United States citizen or another legal permanent resident. And it is that you get a conditional green card, which lasts usually for 2 years. However, you do not file for the conditions to be removed before the expiration of that conditional green card. Now, what is required is that at least 90 days before your green card expires, you must file the I-751 form so that you can have the conditions removed. If you fail to do this, then when the green card expires for that 2 years and you try to now apply for the renewal of it afterwards, surprisingly you realize that your green card has been revoked and you are placed in deportation proceedings. Now you have a whiplash, not realizing that this was happening, and you were clueless, not realizing that, hey, you were in jeopardy, and just by not filing a simple form at 90 days before the expiration date, all your work, the time you put into getting this green card, and the money that you spent has gone down the drain because, hey, a loophole has been found to deport you. Now, here's my little tips, and some persons will not like that I'm giving you these recommendations, because for some persons, all immigrants should leave the United States. But I'm here to give you the information so that if anything happens, you know what to do. Now, the first thing is that if you are stopped by an immigration officer, one, do not agree to sign what is known as the Form I-407 without consulting with an immigration attorney, because as pleasant as that immigration officer will seem in terms of honestly giving you good advice to sign this form, once you sign the form, that immigration officer is obligated to carry out their duties in putting you on a next flight, revoking your green card, or putting you before a court for deportation proceedings. Don't be fooled by the pleasantries. Another thing you should never do is to admit to any wrongdoing without having legal presence. Do not admit to staying too long outside of the United States. Do not admit that you don't really need your green card. And do not admit that you prefer to live outside of the United States or to live in your home country. As honest and as simple as the conversation might seem, you will be walking down a path to deportation. Another thing you must never do is to assume that you need to leave the United States immediately. On the other hand, what you should do is ask to speak to an immigration attorney immediately before you answer any further questions or before you make any decision or sign anything. Another thing that you should do is that you can request to have your case heard before an immigration judge. And the third thing is that you should stay calm and remember, never ever lie to an immigration officer. Never tell a lie to an immigration officer. I cannot repeat this enough. The United States deals with an honor system that they assume that you are telling the truth. Therefore, if it is that it is found out that you are not speaking the truth, then a hard line is drawn against you. Now, what is the bottom line? Should green card holders have anything to worry about? Most green card holders don't, but bear in mind that you must abide by three things. You must live permanently within the United States. 2, you must adhere to any immigration deadlines that have been set. And 3, you must avoid any criminal activity. Remember that one of the main things why there is such a focus on illegal immigrants and immigrants in general right now are the crimes being committed by illegal immigrants. That is what is causing, or part of the cause, for this massive focus on illegal immigrants. So therefore avoid criminal activity. But to be honest, you left your home country, you came to the land of opportunity. Why are you committing crimes? If you had a yard and persons were coming into your yard, breaching your borders, stealing your item and committing crime, would you sit by and allow them to continue to do that in your yard, in your permit of fencing? No. You would stop at nothing to have them ejected, eliminated, eradicated from your yard and protect the border of your yard. It's the same thing being done by the United States government. They cannot be blamed. Stop committing criminal activities and we will all be okay. And my last recommendation, as usual, is that if you need personalized advice, then you need to speak to an immigration attorney, which I am not. I'm just a random person on YouTube. However, if you also need consultation, check in the description box for the consultancy agency that I always recommend to you. Now, thank you again for clicking on this video. I enjoyed presenting this information to you. Please share this information with anyone else that you think might benefit from it. Also, if it is that you benefited from even one point within this content, please click that like button and also subscribe so that you can be kept informed and up to date on any immigration matters that might be released. As usual, thank you for watching and see you in the next video.